Welcome to King James Wine School. Today we're actually going to do wine education. We're going to sort of do the basics of tasting. I've been tasting and doing wine education now for 15 years, basically following the WSET along with French Wine Scholar, Italian Wine Scholar. And so these are what I've picked up. Is my sort of process perfect? Absolutely not. I definitely waver from certain things, but these for me are very, very good sort of easy rules and regulations. So first thing we're looking at is how to taste. This is what we all do. Awesome, loved it. Didn't even spit. Why am I doing it? Is that tasting? No, that's drinking. And that's perfectly okay. Literally that wine is in your mouth for what? 1 second, 2 seconds? How can you honestly taste a wine if it's only in your mouth for 2 seconds? So what we try and do is the full process, which is looking at the appearance, look at the nose, and look at the palate is really what we're doing. So first things we look at is the appearance, so the color and the intensity of the color. In very simple terms, white wines go from this very, very youthful lemon green all the way up to amber, that very sort of aged color. And in simple terms with this, more youthful wines are going to be that lemon green, mature wines are going to be that golden, and then your old wine is going to be into that amber color. Doesn't tell you how many years old it is, it just tells you the maturity. When you then look at the intensity of the color, so not its actual color of yellow or amber, but how deep that color is and how easily you can see through it. The easiest thing to do is sort of look at it from this sort of angle, look straight down onto it, and see how easily you can see through the core of the wine. The easier you can see through it, generally the mouthfeel, that weight of the wine is going to be lighter. The harder it is to see through it, it's going to be a heavier mouthfeel. So it's a very easy one to sort of understand. When you look at your sort of red wines, what you're looking at that one is very much this purple, ruby, garnet, tawny characteristics. Again, going from useful at purple all the way up to mature and going into old age. With the tawny, again, it's telling you how mature it is, not how old it is. And again, the same depth of color works. So very quick and easy is the appearance. Second thing you do is you swirl the wine, let some air in, and let your good big old noses in there and give it a good old smell. You'll see some people and they'll do this, and then they'll reel off 15 different flavors and profiles and tell you it's from the south side of Mount Etna, strawberry. Most of that probably is exaggerated, shall we say. If you can get 2, 3, 4 sort of smells, characteristics, whether it's fruits or flowers, those type of things, or oak, then you're doing really well and you should be happy. What we try and do when I teach is what I call is go global to go local. So what we mean by that, WSET uses it, is like, are you getting red fruits? Are you getting black fruits? Are you getting oak characteristics? Are you getting floral? Are you getting earthy characteristics? Those type of things. And so if you find a red fruit, then you can focus in on red fruit. Is it a strawberry? Is it a cherry? Is it a raspberry? Just keep it very simple. Each grape has a DNA flavor characteristic. For an example, Chardonnay coming out of somewhere like a cool climate area is very much that sort of lemon, citrus, green apples. Coming from a warm climate, let's say like a Napa or Sonoma, those flavor profiles evolve more into the peaches, the melons, the bananas, the tropical fruit characteristics is what we're looking at. So you can therefore begin to identify the grapes by the flavor characteristics is really what you're looking at, is what we're talking about. So that's what you do on the nose. Then finally what you do is you taste. Yes, I did spit. Again, this is if you are tasting, trying to assess the quality of the wine. What I was trying to do there is by having that wine in my mouth for 4, 5, 6 seconds, it allows me to try and detect sweetness, acidity, if it's a red wine, tannins, maybe some of those flavor profiles, alcohol. Also, how long does how long do the flavors linger as well, is what we're really talking about. So again, we think about food and wine pairings, or think about what you sort of generally like. If you like high acid wines, then you want to be able to feel that acidity on your sort of tongue in your mouth. If you want soft wines, maybe with a little bit of residual sugar, you want to be able to sort of detect that sort of softness in the wine. if you're looking at red wines, do you want a tannic structure? And if you do, you should be able to sort of feel some of those tannins on the palate. Maybe even a little bit of a grip from those tannins is what we're sort of talking about and looking for. Some people aren't big fans of it. For me, I also use the whole idea of coffee and tea. How do you take your coffee and tea? I find it very useful. If you like black coffee or black tea, generally you're going to like more fuller bodied. You can take more power, you can take more acidity, you can take more tannins, a sort of astringency, and you like that, you need that. If you take it with sort of milk or sugar or creamery, all those things, generally you want something soft. So you want a little bit of sort of maybe a little sugar. You want those tannins to be softer. Those sort of characteristics is what you're looking for. So again, you can begin to work it out. So when you're doing those tastings, working out the acidity, working out the sweetness, working out the tannins, all those things come into play, and working out that weight is what we're talking about. And then at the end, how long do those flavors last and linger, those positive flavors? You put it all together, you've got beautiful appearance. The nose, is it good intensity, lots of flavors? On the palate, is there complexity? Does it speak to you where it's coming from? Does it have good length? Does it have good balance? Is the tannins, is the acidity, is the fruit integrated? You put all those things together. If it's got great balance, can tell you where it's coming from, got great length, got great intensity, that's an exceptionally good wine, whether you like it or not. If those things are all disjointed, generally we're not saying it's as good a quality wine. So that's really what we're looking at when we come to taste. We can work out the assessment from that. We can also work out whether it's going to be a good food wine or it's going to be a straightforward just drinking it type wine. That at the end of the day is why we taste wine. So we can purchase wines which we think will suit different clients in the business.